Hi everyone, welcome back to Wander and Create with Emma. Today we are getting festive because I have some holiday decorations that I have tried and tested and want to share my experience with you. If like me, you're always trying to come up with new ways to use your yarn stash, this video is for you. I've got 5 patterns, both knitting and crochet, to share with you that I have either tried out this year or in past seasons. Some of these patterns are free, some of them are paid, but they are all worth it, and I've included links to all the patterns mentioned in the description below. So grab your knitting or your crochet and let's get cozy and jump into some festive yarn inspiration. So while I've included the links to all the patterns I mentioned in this video below, I do also have them listed on one of my Ravelry favourites boards, which if you are on Ravelry and can use it, I highly recommend checking out my favourites boards. I've got multiple of them all around stash busting patterns in different themes. So if you haven't followed me already, this year I have been on a mission to use my yarn that I have in my stash over buying more yarn. And throughout this year, I have been doing pattern roundups for my own research and sharing what I find with you guys. I have done seasonal ones, I have done festive ones, and I have saved them all on Ravelry boards as I go. So head to that as well. The link is also in the description below. And while I'm here, I may as well also mention my website, wanderandcreatewithemma.com, where I have a bunch of blog posts which are also pattern roundups that align with these videos. I have lots of Christmas themed blogs and videos that I created last year. I initially last year did a video that was a general pattern roundup of stash busting Christmas decorations and ornaments. And now in this video, I've actually tested some of them. And so I thought I would share my experience of knitting and crocheting them. I'm going to start with a knitting pattern, and that is the Merry Mini Trees by Traveling Knits. Now this is a pattern that I paid for. I think it was about $8 Canadian. And these little trees are made with a DK weight yarn. They have been absolutely perfect to use at my stash. Let me just grab some to show you. So I have made 8 altogether. And here we are. So they are small enough that you could hang them from the tree, and that's initially what I was going to do. So I have the little ties I left at the top here so I could attach them to a tree. But I've changed my mind and I'm going to turn them into a garland to put on the fireplace here, because I think they would really work well for that and better than they would look on a tree. Mostly because of the colours I've picked, to be honest. I've got this blue and green here that are quite dark. Obviously the green is the same colour as a tree, so I felt like they're not going to show up very much. And I guess with all of these, because they are decorative, they're ornaments, you don't have to worry too much about doing a gauge swatch, which some of you may love to hear. I'm usually someone that would recommend always doing a gauge swatch, but I think when it comes to decorations, it's really only necessary if you're looking to make something a specific size, either exactly as it is in the pattern, or you have a certain size you want something to be. So I did pretty much follow the pattern for this. I used a DK weight yarn, but the pattern calls for a 3mm knitting needle, but I used a 3.25mm just because my 3mm knitting needle was in use with another project, and I thought if it's a little bit bigger, I don't really mind too much. So these trees are worked from the bottom up. You start with a Turkish cast on, which I have only used once before a number of years ago, so it was great to do that again. And then you kind of work decreases, add stitches, increase again. So not only are these trees great in general for yarn stash busting, because you can just use tiny amounts of your DK yarn you might have in your stash left over from other projects, but you have to stuff these trees as you go to make them a bit more 3D. And they've been perfect to use up my scrap yarn. So all year I have been keeping scraps when I trim the ends of my yarn. When I have tiny amounts left, I have been saving them in this jar. And before I started making these trees, that jar was full. And actually it was almost empty after I knitted 8 of the trees. It's just been topped up again because I've been going through my project bags and pulling yarn out and doing a bit more knitting since I finished these with and crochet too. So it's an all-rounder, absolutely perfect for stash busting. I highly recommend these, and I love the look of them at the end. And yeah, like I say, I'm going to hang them along the fireplace here. I think they'll look really pretty. I will add a snip of that into this video so that you get to see the final look of them. And as I mentioned, I have knit 8 in total, so I've done 2 of each colour. Where's my green? So yeah, these are the Merry Mini Trees by Travelling Knits. Next up, I'm going onto a crochet pattern. And this pattern is the Make It Granny chain by Handmade at my place. And this is a free pattern from a blog post on their website. So I have started this chain. I have made 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 chains. So as you can see, it is very much a granny stitch style project. So the chain is made up of these rectangles. And actually, you would think they're crocheted back and forth. They're actually crocheted in the round. So you start with these two. You start with a chain. There's this middle piece here. You do these kind of clusters of double crochet, and then you work the other side of the chain, and then you go around again and again. So it's kind of 4 rounds effectively. This one was using a DK weight yarn as well, but again, you could make it a smaller size. The pattern itself is calling for a 4mm crochet hook, but I am quite a loose crocheter, so I already knew that I was going to need to go down. So I went down to a 3.5mm hook. The pattern itself is on their website as a blog post, but I will add that it is like a kind of doodled, written out chart. It's like a doodle of their like design with the charted crochet stitches, and then a kind of paragraph or 2 of the written pattern. So if you're new crochet, it's not that you couldn't do this. It might just take a little bit more trying to decipher it, but it is such a simple pattern that it doesn't take long. You only need to know a couple of crochet stitches. It's very simple to figure out. And like I say, it is a free pattern. Someone still took the time to design them and put it out there for everyone to use. My personal opinion of it, and this could be me, the maker, rather than the pattern itself, is that I think they are too chunky, because it means they just don't sit well. They get kind of scrunched up. Now, this could be the yarn I'm using. I'm using an acrylic yarn. It's not all the same, but the majority of it is the Rico Baby DK that I had left from making a baby blanket about a year ago. So it could be the case that a cotton yarn might keep a bit more structure to it, or a better drape, whichever. I think the kind of more stiffer structure might be needed. Maybe it's more that I'm still too loose with my stitches, even though I went down a hook size. What do you think? I mean, I'm probably going to hang this at the fireplace as well, but I like the color combinations I've chosen, but there's just something about it that is potentially too big, and it doesn't show off the granny stitch style of it as much. If you look at the image on the pattern where it's come from, it looks much better. So I think it's a me problem rather than the pattern problem, and the yarn choices and the hook size and everything that I have made. But I wanted to share that with you because I was kind of excited. I really liked the look of these granny stitch crochet chains, but I don't love my final result. Do you see what I mean? Let me know what you think in the comments. I'll try hanging it anyway, along with the trees, just to see what it looks like. And maybe I'll add more chains if I think it looks okay. But I'm not sure. But again, it's not about the pattern. It's a free pattern. It's worth giving it a try. See if anyone else has the same issue as well. But it was good and fun to do it. I find that granny stitch is just a classic. You can't go wrong. They also those rectangles didn't take long to make at all, and you can single crochet them together as you go, or you could make a bunch of rectangles and put them together at the end. And that was the Make It Granny chain by Handmade at my place. Do you like my new festive mug? I got it at work. It was a gift that everybody on my team got. Cute little Christmas house. I'm very happy with it. This is my first time using it. And inside I have a festive tea. It's a chamomile, apple and spices. So really getting in the mood here. And also I forgot to mention at the top, but I realized that when you're seeing this, it's mid-December. A lot of people probably have all their decorations up already, but I also know some people do wait until mid-December or even later to put their decorations up. So I felt like now is as good a time as any to put out a decorations tried and tested video, because obviously there's still time to make them before the big days like Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. Or maybe you've put your decks up and you feel like there's something missing, jump into your yarn stash. These could also make great gifts for people as well. Mini tree garland, that would be a lovely gift to make for somebody. Okay, back to the patterns. So going back to knitting, but sticking with the paper chain inspired theme, I've got a knitted paper chain, and it is the Knitted Paper Chain Garland by Vicki Howell. So this is also a free pattern on the designer's website. And this one is really easy. If you're a new knitter, this one is great for practicing your knit stitches, because each little rectangle is just you're knitting back and forth, back and forth. And then once you've bound off that little strip, you sew it together to form the chain. Just dropped mine. So here it is. So this one I actually knit last year, and it was to decorate my workspace at work. This, again, as they all are, another great stash buster. This is all worsted weight yarn. And although I obviously did use some festive colours like the red, the green, the white, I did mix that up with purples and pinks and blues to create this really fun chain. So very easy. These strips are just garter stitch, as I mentioned. They're quite thin and therefore sit much better than the crochet chain, in my opinion. They're long. I think they're about 8 inches long and then sewn together. However, as I'm talking, I just remembered that actually the pattern itself, the strips are much wider, and I chose to make mine thinner because I wanted that more traditional paper chain look. So perhaps I had the same feeling last year with the knitted ones as I am doing now with the crochet chain. So I made these ones a bit thinner. But again, this is really one that you can play around with. You don't have to use worsted weight yarn. You can use whatever yarn you have in your stash and just match your needle to that to make the kind of, to have the right tension for it. Or you can hold, you can hold yarn together to get the worsted weight, all of that stuff. It's a great one to play around with. And I think, although I have knit this for Christmas, you wouldn't have to make it for Christmas. It would be a great decoration to have like in a baby's room or in a play space, decorations for parties. Yeah, really fun one. Like I made this to decorate my desk last Christmas, but I actually ended up keeping it for year round just to brighten up my little workspace a bit. So this is the Knitted Paper Chain by Vicki Howell. And then lastly, I have 2 more patterns, and they both fall under the category of crochet stars and snowflakes. So I've actually crocheted a lot of stars and snowflakes in my time over the years. I use them a lot to add as a final touch on gift wrapping. I like to add them as kind of like a gift tag and personalize them. I've done that a lot for co-workers if we've done like a cookie exchange, or I've done it with family members all the time and friends, each person getting a unique color, really playing around with it. So I've made a few patterns, but I'll include two here, one that I tried recently and one that I crocheted last year. So the first one I will talk about is Little Stars Crochet by Merino and Tomato. This is a free pattern on their website again. This also uses a DK weight yarn and recommends a 4mm hook, but I, as with the previous crochet pattern, sized down to a 3.5mm needle. And this is one of them. I made 3. And I've kept this little tail here where I finished because maybe I'll attach it to the tree, maybe I'll attach it to a gift. I'm keeping it there to give myself options. So this pattern is just 3 rounds starting from the center working out. It has a puff stitch in the second round, and then you're working treble and double crochet US double and treble crochet to make these points for the star. Very cute, and these were incredibly quick to make. I used an acrylic yarn for mine. I had these little balls of yarn that my partner bought for me on a trip he went on, and he came back with 3 of these. They're just acrylic yarn, tiny 50-gram balls that I had had sitting around for almost a year and wasn't sure what to do with them. So I made these little stars. I think it held it together nicely. And I also made one in this bright, almost neon, corally, pinky orange color. And then I did one with another yarn that I never remember where this yarn has come from, but it always seems to be appearing in my stash no matter how much I use it. And this one is a little bit smaller because it's slightly thinner yarn, although I think it is DK. So I made 3 of those. It's a really memorable pattern. As I say, it's just 3 rounds. So once you've made a couple, you're on your way. You kind of don't need to refer to the pattern too much after that if you're looking to make quite a significant number of them. And yeah, like I say, really didn't take long to crochet at all. It's 3 rounds, very easy. I reckon one takes 15 minutes potentially. And yeah, they're perfect to add to a gift as a little unique handmade touch or hang on a tree. Lastly, I have the number 3 Flower Star Snowflake by Renata Sai. This is also a free pattern. So actually, almost all of these patterns have been free today. Amazing. I must say, when I have been testing these out, the ones that I have done recently, like the little stars, the crochet garland, the mini trees, it does always amaze me. Obviously, I know I design my own patterns. The time it takes to design these patterns, have the idea, test it out, figure out the yarn, the stitches, the measurements, write the pattern and post it. The fact that people do these for free is just so special that we get to have that. People have taken the time to do it and we can make that pattern and it's cost us nothing but yarn and time. Very special. Like that's a lot. Yeah, I just felt that yesterday when I was crocheting the little stars and it was taking me not much time at all. I was really enjoying it and I thought it was just awesome that that person had put all that effort in and I get to do that for free. But anyway, let me show you the Flower Star Snowflake. So this is one that I made last year. Again, I've kept the end on because I'm actually hanging this one. It's the topper of my tree this year. I think I could maybe starch this, something I've never done before, but I think this could benefit from it to keep it a bit more in shape. But you'll see it has this kind of flower center and then goes to a more star snowflake vibe. And actually this pattern is 6 rounds of crochet, but I didn't get that far with this snowflake because I remember when I was making it last year that I decided that that was large enough as it is and I didn't want to make an extra round. And let me take a step back and say this is large, but actually the pattern uses a 2mm crochet hook and is 2 thread weight yarn held together. This is DK weight. Notice the theme, I keep using DK, and all the other patterns have been DK, but this one was not. But I think last year I just was not worrying about sticking to the pattern, just using what I had. So that is why it is quite large. And then last night I wanted to test it out again. But again, I was using DK weight yarn. I don't actually have any thread weight, but I could try fingering weight and see how that turns out. So I used that neon bright coral. However, I was using that 50-gram ball that I just showed you of the acrylic yarn, and I got to round 5 again, same as with the white one, and I realized I didn't have enough yarn to do the 6th round. So again, I had to stop. So it's a similar large size. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with this one, to be honest. Maybe I'll end up giving it away to somebody, but this pattern does take a little bit longer to do compared to the mini stars. It has a slight bit more detail to it, but again, very straightforward, nicely written. It has images, so it kind of helps you along as well. But I'll have to dig out some more yarn in my stash to make a 6th one, and I think perhaps I should try it with a lighter weight yarn just to see. I also wouldn't mind trying it out with adding a sequin yarn into it as well and have a sparkly one. I think that could be pretty fun. Same with the other little stars, actually. So that was the number 3 Flower Star Snowflake by Renata Sai, and that is all of my tried and tested Christmas decorations or Christmas ornaments. I think they're all pretty much a success. The jury's still out on the crochet paper chain, but I will hang it up and see how I feel about it then. Thank you for watching this video. Please give it a like if you'd enjoyed it, and in the comments below please share if you've got any favourite Christmas and festive holiday decor patterns that you have made and enjoyed in the past. Please subscribe if you haven't already so you don't miss future episodes from me. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.